Hey guys, it is Tristan with Nerdette's NewsStand, and I am continuing my 10 days of Christmas, and I said I was going to do all Christmas stories, right? All classic Christmas comics. I have to include this. I absolutely have to include this. Okay, as far as single issues go, and this is Batman 105, this is the best issue I have seen in years, and quite possibly ever. Ghost Stories, and we're coming in late on this when I don't review every Batman, but this is part 4, the end of Ghost Stories, right? This will go down as far as classics like Hush. It absolutely will. This is one of the best stories that has been told in years. I am not kidding. I've never said this about a single comic on my channel, but my God, not only did he get Batman right, but he introduced 2 brand new characters a little while back, Clownhunter and Ghostmaker, and both of them are done perfectly. But he got Harley Quinn right. And Harley Quinn is really hard to write. Either people write her too kind of dumb and random, or they don't, or they write her too serious. And he's got that perfect mixture that nobody really gets. And I was actually shocked reading this last night at how good it was. So let's take a look at Batman 105. I could not believe it. I really couldn't. The art is by Christian Deuce, and it is by James Tynion. And it's going to backtrack a little bit, right? The whole time we have seen Ghostmaker, we have seen him as a adversary of Bruce Wayne. Not only of Bruce Wayne, but of Batman. He knows who he is. They don't work together. They were great friends at one point. But all of that kind of went by the wayside when there was this ideological divide on killing or not killing. And it was kind of the inspiration for a video I did a while back about the same issue. But we see them in the rain, and Bruce is getting ready to leave, right? And I absolutely, James Tynion has kind of released a lot of these new characters, right? And I love this design. It is beautiful, and it is so Bat Family-esque that I really adore the way it looks from top to bottom. Same with Punchline, same with Clownhunter. He's done a really great job of getting them down to the exact detail of making them so good. So basically they do get into this argument, and I do think they're keeping the name a bit of a mystery as far as Ghostmaker's name, because he starts to say it. He says just leave KH, and he can't say it. He hits him, before he can. So I'm wondering if it's Corey or something. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But regardless, they split. They make a deal. Bruce says, stay out of Gotham. That's my area. I'm going to help these people. And he says, stay out of wherever I'm camped. They have to stay separate, right? And then we get to kind of the current time, right? And we're in Arkham Asylum. And this was set up in the previous issue. But we have Harley, Ghostmaker, basically drug them all. Harley and Batman are laying there, tied down. And Clownmaker is loose. He wants to kill Harley because she was there when his parents died. She had a hand, and his name's B-A-O. I'm Bayo. She had a hand in Bayo's parents' death, and then he wants revenge. And Batman, the entire time, Bruce is trying to say, you don't need revenge. Revenge is not going to make you feel better. Well, we've got Ghostmaker kind of in the background, trying to teach this lesson to not care about all people. That was the big divide before. You're one person in this whole world. Why should we care about one person? Is kind of how Ghostmaker looks at it. Whereas Batman says every single person matters. And now it's down to Bayo. Is he going to actually take the knife and, get his revenge, as Batman begs him not to? Or is he going to take the high road? Well, Batman ends up getting loose enough to get one hand free and able to swing a batarang and stop him. Of course, I mean, I think we all saw this part coming, and I actually saw the next part coming. But the way that the dialogue is literally perfect. I'm not even kidding. So we go through this, and he goes and she tells Batman, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. And he says, why? You know, Bayo says, why not? Are you stupid? Why would you not leave? I am going to kill you. And a lot of times we get this speech. You know, it's the speech that calms somebody down. And it's pretty generic. It's a regular trope. But if it's done correctly, in the fact that Bayo is a child and doesn't have as much life experience to manipulation. But the key is you don't feel like Harley is manipulating Clownhunter at all in what she says. But she does say, you know, sometimes my brain, and the messed up thing about this before I go into her speech here is there was a lot of parts where I was like, God, she's literally talking about me. She's literally, it's kind of insane. So she says, you know, about being evil. Sometimes I'm not. My brain works a little bit sideways, but it's a good brain. I know how you feel. And he gets mad. No, you absolutely don't know how I feel. She's saying, you know, I used to be a psychiatrist. I do know how you feel. I studied the brain. I know what it's like. But I hear you, and you can try to kill me, but just hear me right now. Just hear what I have to say. And she says, I don't remember that night, right? I know I was there because Batman said so. She trusts Batman 100%, but she doesn't actually remember killing his parents. She says, I'm sorry your parents died. I'm sorry that I had any sort of hand in it. I'm sorry that I got myself so deep into your head. It messed you up for your entire life. You have the world ahead of you. Remember, this is just a child. And she says, I'm sorry. I was the one to do that to you. She says, you know, there's consequences to doing this kind of a thing. But I got really messed up there for a while. Nothing in my life made it feel like anything made sense. This man was telling me what I wanted to hear. This man made me feel wanted. This man made me feel okay. And that meant a lot to her. And she said, you know, she was a broken person. And she thought he was broken just like her, but he wasn't. He was able to manipulate her. He was able to make her do things for the sake of his admiration. And that's the most kind of a messed up relationship you can ever have, right? Just for someone's admiration, you have to do their dirty deeds. And she said, I wanted to be strong, and he was able to manipulate me. He was able to control me, and I was willing then to do those terrible things. And she actually starts crying and kind of breaking down, and she said, I wanted to be the one with power. I wanted to be the one that people were afraid of. And now I'm dealing with the consequences for the rest of my life. I'm always going to be Harley Quinn, but I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to save as many people as I have hurt. I will be there to save them, to go opposite of what I used to do. But if you want to kill me, you can. It's up to you. And as he goes to kind of use the knife, right? You see the reflection of her eye in his actual mask, and he can't do it. You see her crying, and he can't do it. And he says, just leave me alone, right? Just leave me alone. And he actually storms out. And, wow. Sometimes those moments are good. And sometimes those moments are freaking fantastic. And she even says to Batman, you're going to make sure this kid's okay, right? Like, you need to do that. This kid needs to be okay. There's a piece of what Bruce sees in him that has always been within Bruce. And, you know, she wants to make sure the kid's okay, and so does Bruce. So then she ends up leaving, but Bruce says you should get out of here because Ghostmaker has shown up. Now, this is another amazing part. They do go through this fight, and they go through this entire fight sequence. And he says, you know, I generally care about the boy and I don't want his life destroyed. I know that it is important that people are savable, that I can save people. You know, she even says I could have killed Harley. What would that have done? Now I have an ally, whereas I would have killed Joker's ally. Most people, usually you can tell when you are face to face with them on the worst day of their life if they can be saved. That is how Batman tells. And he says, you know, you're protective of him because he lost his parents just like you did. You understand his mission. You empathize with that childish dream. And he says, it's not, I'm not a teenager anymore. It's not a childish dream. I can help him. And he's done it time and time again. We've seen it with Dick and Tim and Jason. This is what Batman's, you know, ultimate mission is to help, right? He said, you know, caring about people hasn't got me killed yet. It's not going to get me killed. And they kind of take a break. He says, I'm done fighting you. I'm done. And we don't have to fight anymore. There's no reason for it. And kind of, Ghostmaker says, we'll leave the old arrangement like it was. But where it actually, I didn't expect, and I'm really, really glad to see it, is, he says, you know, it's too bad. I was hoping to see one of your cars. And we kind of get like a little bit of a foreshadowing for the next Batmobile. It's not a tank, but he is building a new one. But the actual best part about this is we see Ghostmaker and he says, you know, or we see Batman and he says, don't leave Gotham. Stay. Help me clean it up. I'm getting older. I love this part. I'm getting older and the city's getting younger. I don't think I have the resources that I used to have. And the allies in law enforcement or the government, I could use some help. I love this version of Batman. He's a human. He's not just this bat that fights at night. He's getting older. He's feeling his humanity. And it works. He says, I'm not going to stop telling you that you're wrong. He says, well, that's good. Since Alfred passed, I don't have that enough in my life. And he says, and I'm not going to wear a bat on my chest. And he says, I wouldn't ask you to. And then he says, the only rule is you can't kill in my city. He says, so you're limited, right? But he does, agree with it. He said, you think you can stand the challenge? And Ghostmaker joins. Not only that, but he says, your family's waiting out there to kill me. And he's like, well, I put them on. Come on. Come say hello. And we see them leave. And my God, it's just, I don't know what it was about this issue. If it was the writing or the end to this before Future State or what. But even at the end, they have a little joke, you know, I bet I can get there faster than you. And he says, I'll take that as a bet, right? Like, he says, I'm richer than you are now. And he's like, good, well, then you can buy dinner. Fucking 10. I don't give comic books 10, ever. This is the best story, Ghost Stories, and even their Dark Designs, but definitely Ghost Stories. Best story I've read in years. Best story I've read since Hush. Best story I have read in so long. I absolutely love and cannot wait to learn more and read more about Ghostmaker. I can't wait to see his interaction with the Batgirls, with Dick, with Oracle, everything about it. And that's what James Tynion did. He made me want to know more. Not a lot of writers can do that. And fucking perfect. Literally perfect. I couldn't, like, down to the silly stuff. Down to the art. Down to the fact when Harley's on her back, her boob goes to the side because, goddammit, we're girls and that happens. Like, every single bit of this. Perfection. Anyways, let me know, of course, what you guys think about this. If you've read it, if you have not, I absolutely think that this is a 100% recommend. If you've ever listened to me before, this is the story that's really, really going to get you emotionally invested into every single one of these characters we've seen throughout this arc. So I will stop shilling, but I was just shocked. I really, really was. So I will see you guys in the next one. Let me know, of course, what you guys think about this. I will have Christmas Story for day 8 tomorrow. I fell in love. I fell in love. I can't help it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey guys, I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon and subscribe stars. You guys literally make this channel possible. Huge thank you to Cage the Mick, Robert Mick Twiz, Black Knight Fool, Brucey, Chris Z, David L, David Rafford, Jeffrey Allen Carnes, Mighty Paws, Mike Buckner, Maizen Barbosa, Ruskar, Ryan Decker, Robert Hoffman, and Doc Holliday. You guys are absolutely amazing, and thank you so much for all your support. Don't forget on the way out to like as always if you enjoy the content and hit subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.